I've just got home from work. It's February and just look at this weather. I can't believe how nice it is. So I thought, since I've just joined a mini boat forum, I'm going to put my other projects on hold for a day or two, and I'm going to show you some of the details on my boat. All these panels on the side and the top are made from 5mm exterior plywood, and all I did was cover it with resin once the boat were finished. Because I've not used it in such a long time, it took me ages to get it out my garage. While it's in my garage over the winter, it just gets used for storage. Things that I need, things I don't need, projects that I've made, things like skateboards, unfinished skateboards, boards for hanging keys on, more boards for hanging keys on, catapult pistols, and even catapult rifles. And if you want to see how I made any of them things, go and have a look at my other videos on this channel. But the first thing I'm going to do is remove this quick release canopy. That makes it easier to film inside and show you how it works. Ten minutes ago I couldn't have sat in this. It was absolutely filthy, covered in sawdust. It was worse than my vacuum cleaner. And my vacuum cleaner looks like this. But now it's clean, I can show you how I made it and what it's made of. Then once I had the right measurements, I made these pedals and this bar. Attached the pedals to the bar, and now when I pedal it, it turns the chain and sprockets, which then turns the head of an angle grinder through 90 degrees, which in turn rotates the shaft. And for every once I pedal it, the shaft rotates 9.5 times, which gives the propeller 540 turns a minute, pedalling at 1 revolution per second. Which is quite easy going really. In fact, I could have made the propeller a little bit bigger or geared it a little bit harder, because it's very easy to pedal, even on my own. This steering wheel and this dashboard have been cut into this shape so I don't bang my knees or my shins when I'm pedalling the boat. And I wasn't going to make it like this at first, but I'm glad I did, because I think it gives it a bit of character. I quite like it. When I turn the steering wheel, it turns this threaded bar, which turns a big wooden disc. And on the disc, I've cut 2 grooves and I've wrapped a piece of rope around. So when I turn it one way, it pulls on the string, and when I turn it the other way, it pulls in the other direction. The string is connected through some pulleys down into some tubes and runs to the back of the boat to the rudder. The ropes that turn the rudder run through tubes which are hidden in the sides of the boat, and they end up underneath this boot section. I made this boot section for all the really important things that you need if you're going to have a day out on a boat. The push and pull ropes have been hidden underneath this box. And once you turn the steering wheel, it pulls and pushes on the rope, which turns the rudder. And the box doubles up as a seat for a small child, or a handy holder for a load of beer. Actually, what should have been in here was things like life vests for adults and children, waterproof shoes, and a waterproof container that floats for things like your mobile phone or your keys, just in case something happens. Better put this back on. The quick release mechanism for the canopy is just these two pieces of metal with some keyhole slots cut in, and then I put some screws in the back of the wooden frame on the canopy. If you want to see how I made it, check this video out. Another thing I've made is this small panel. It gives me access to the steering mechanism and the chain drive, so if I need to lubricate the chain, or if the chain comes off at any point, I don't have to fiddle about trying to climb down on the inside, which is what I used to do before I made this. And I've attached it with a good strong elastic onto a hook on the inside, so it snaps in position. That way it won't come loose while it's bobbing about on the water. When I made my boat, I imagined that someday somebody smaller than me is going to want to pedal it. And if he can't reach the pedals, what's he going to do? So I made the seats. You just lift them up, pull out the locking bolt, and both the seats slide forward. And when you find the right position, you put the bolt back in, which stops the seat moving, and then bang it back down. The screen has no function really. I just made it because it just didn't look right without one. I got some 4mm plexiglass, cut it to shape, varnished some strips, and then double-sided taped them to the plexiglass. I didn't know how long it was going to last, but it's been on there for about 3 years now, so it's doing well. For all the group members on Mini Boats and More, thanks for watching. I hope you like my boat, and if you've got any questions, leave it in the section below. And while you're there, why not check out some of my other videos? You might like some of the stuff I've made. Subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching, guys. Catch you next time. Alright guys. Oh. Alright guys. Bloody hell. Not a dinosaur. It's a Chainsaw Charlie. Alright guys. So I thought, seeing as I've just joined a mini boat forum, I may as well show you some of the details on my mini boat.